All right, everyone. I'm sure we'll have some more people join as we get started. But basically, Wayne and I went to the Century 21 conference in Arizona. And one of the big things they talked about there is Moxi, because technically it hasn't fully launched yet with Century 21. It's something that's going to launch in 2023. But our office is part of the phase 2 start, which basically means we got early access to this program. When we first got it, we kind of looked at it as sort of a Zap replacement. And we really only saw it as, a way to route your online leads and engage with them. But what we found out as we go along more and more and more is that this is a tool that's supposed to be our all-in-one for everything from our CMA presentations, our customer relationship management, as well as social media and website creation. So basically, we can use Moxi not just to say, I talked to this online lead this day, but it's a way for us to grow our business by creating automatic marketing campaigns. There's a thing called neighborhood news, which we will go into, which has had an incredible success among agents in other branches. And just in general, our CMA presentations, which are going to look updated and have a really nice web version, as well as, again, some social media, open house, flyers, everything like that. It'll automatically create these things for you. So there are a couple ways to access Moxi, and we'll keep saying this. The first way to access it is in your 21 Online. If you hit menu and you go to your productivity hub, and this will all be in alphabetical order, you have all these different things that you can use. And if you scroll down to M, you'll see here Moxi Engage, Moxi Impress, Moxi Present, and Moxi websites. Moxi Talent is only something that it's a brokerage resource, so that's something that Wayne and I would be using. That's not something that you'd be using. Yeah.
What is Moxi stand for?
That's just the name of the brand. They call it MoxiWorks, and they have these different Moxi programs that you use. Yeah. If you're ever confused about which one is which, for now they have these 4 tabs here, and if you click on Learn More, for instance on Moxi Engage, it'll actually, instead of instantly taking you to the website, it'll take you to kind of like a Learn More page first, and it'll say Moxi Engage is your devoted sidekick. And then it talks about, all the different things that you can do. So I recommend just reading through it. They also have a little video that explains it. So again, I would just recommend going through it and just kind of familiarizing yourself with it, because I can talk your ear off all day, but if you don't, understand it yourself, then you're going to have to kick back to us, which we're completely okay with, but we want you to learn this program. So I'm going to hit Access Moxi Engage. What it's going to do is it's going to open this new tab, and it's going to say mymoxi.century21.com at the top as soon as it loads. So alternatively, if you don't want to go to 21 Online and you just want to go directly to Moxi, you would literally just type in mymoxi.century21.com. This is going to bring you into your hub. So for instance, this is me. This is my office. Mine's going to look a little bit different because I have settings for everyone and I have the marketing setting. But for you, you will basically have this little page with your info. And then on top, it's going to say Present, Engage, my website, Impress, and there's also the Promote, which I believe is a Century 21 feature as well, where they basically create a social media campaign and they do the targeted marketing for you. Today, we're not going to go into a specific one. I'm just going to do a quick overview of every single one of them. And then after that, any questions that you might have already had before or that you will have at the end, we're just going to talk through those, and then we'll see together where we're at, okay? And then each week, we'll go into a different one. So the first one I want to talk about is the one that probably is going to be used the most in terms of how we work is Present. This is what ultimately is going to replace Toolkit. It's very similar. The only big difference, again, is that the adjustments page is different because you don't get that little spreadsheet. You have to go in and do it manually. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you learned it, I think this program is much better because it's way more integrated with your MLS. And we're also going to talk about some that some other brokerages do that I think we should start doing, which is called a property review. And I'll tell you about that once we get there. So if I click at the top, if I click Present, it's going to take me to one of those 4 ones that I'm going to use. So for instance, if we look at this one, this is a real comparative market analysis that I did for a real seller. And so you can edit it, or if I click on it, it creates a web presentation We can still print it out, find it and everything, but if you have the opportunity to bring a laptop or, an iPad or anything, I would highly recommend starting to do that because this is a much more refined version of your presentation. So let's say Jim is selling his house and I'm presenting a CMA to him, and I have this computer here. I can go, hey Jim, I'm gonna go over my analysis of your home. So we're gonna start, it's gonna have the cover page, and right here it'll say, a relentless real estate service plan, just a standard thing. Then from there, and it'll keep saying my name at the top, we scroll down, and here we go. These are the comparable properties that I chose, and this is why I think you should pick them. Now on the sheet of paper, when we present it to them, we could be, hey, that's a 3.3, this is a 3.2, this is a 3.3. But in this case, I can do, look, this comparable I chose. I click on it, and then I can say, because of this, I can show these pictures. I can say it was a similar year built. The HOA dues are similar. It's in a gated community, blah, blah, blah. Then I can just click out of it. And I can say, I chose this house because it is the exact same house as yours, just without a pool. And so I can say, it has similar flooring, exact same layout, looks about the same, updated. So this is why I took it. Some people like this, but I can even say, look, I had the original list price, the sold price, and then over here I can say these are the adjustments I did. Usually I don't like showing the exact adjustments, just the adjusted value, but I can say, look, I gave this value here, this value here, this value here, and my total adjustments came to this number. Does that kind of make sense? And then I can click out, and I can keep doing that for every single one of them. Some people don't care about any of that stuff, so you just keep going, but that's something that's, yes.
How many clubs we can add on? 3, 5?
How many houses?
Yeah.
You can do as many as you want.
Okay.
I think, Brandy, you sent one out with like 20 houses on it, right? Yeah.
Okay, so we got.
Yeah, and you can scroll right and just keep going and going and going. And so again, you can also just do the quick view here. But then here we talk about our home averages. And honestly, I've since refined the presentation, and I've created an office presentation that everyone can use, which I'll show you how to do, which has our branded pages on it and everything already. And then so here I say, this is the approximate market value. I went from this price to this price. And then after that, it says a couple of marketing materials, and you can customize this. Again, there's 350 pages to choose from. I know I like to keep mine short and sweet, but I think sometimes people have used a long presentation on Toolkit. You can do that on here as well. Then we need to make some room for people. And so it has, the real estate thing. And again, I can print this, and I'll have a PDF version of it that looks very similar to the one that we had before. Cool. Okay. Does anyone have questions about that specific presentation or just how it looks? We're all good? Okay.
Okay, so when you're on Productivity Hub,
Yeah.
which of the boxes do you go into?
You can literally click on any of them, and then right below that, if you click on one of them, it'll say Access Moxi Engage or Access Moxi Present. We asked the people at corporate to just get rid of that and literally put one thing that says MoxiWorks, and you click on it and it takes you to your home page. But just click on one of those 4. So again, just click on one of those 4 and then click this button, the Access Moxi something, Okay. So what we did for you is we have a standard seller presentation that's very similar to the quick CMA only presentation. So how that works is if I create a new presentation, I can do seller right here. We all good?
Thank you.
We're all filing in. Yeah. I can do a seller presentation. I can hit continue. And there are these standard templates, but what we did is we did an office template. So I made this presentation right here that has our brand recognition page, it has our syndication page, and it also has, that little page that we used to have that said professional photography, Matterport scan, and all that. We kind of redid it for a web version. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to say continue, and I'm going to prepare it for Jim Morton. And then I'm going to hit create. And so you got to give it a second as it loads.
Can you eliminate some of the pages if you don't want 11 pages?
Correct, and you can add pages too. So, we can add, I don't know, let's see if this random MLS number has a house type to it. Let's see. Okay, so we have here, well, let's not do that. Does anyone have a active listing right now that I could use just to kind of show you how it works?
4911, are you going by the address?
Oh, perfect. I found a house here.
Okay.
No idea who it is. 14 Illinois Street. But, let's say you've had this listing in the past, someone had this listing in the past. Basically, you can just put the MLS number in here and it'll copy all the data that it had. Especially if it's not your listing, double check everything and add your own picture onto it. Because let's say this was a listing by, Frank William at Tropic Shores. That is his picture. That is his information that he put in. I would double check that. Does that make sense to everyone?
Is it legal to do that?
Yeah, I mean, this right here is just to get the property data so that you don't have to go in and type 14 Illinois Street, Community 9, Beverly Hills, subdivision, building name, school district. So you don't have to do all of that. So we see here is the single family home, 32, 1536 square foot. Again, usually I would know the house, but just to show you guys how it works, I just picked a random house. And then if you do actually ever do this, always get rid of the remarks because this is what was in the MLS, and always get rid of this info too because again, we are assuming that it didn't sell because we are trying to list it. So I'm just going to clear all that out. Again, alternatively, you can literally go in, type in 14 Illinois Street, upload your own image, put in the community subdivision, and you don't even really have to put this stuff in, just stuff for you to adjust basically. So we put in the 32, 2150 living, so you can type all of this stuff in manually as well. And I'll put this on acres. Any questions about that so far? No? Okay, then we're gonna hit continue. And now what we're doing is we're going to be doing our comparative analysis. So a couple ways that we can do that is we can just go into our MLS and we can find the houses and we can type them in here. So we can type in the actual address here, or we can put in the MLS number and we can hit add. Or what we can do, because it is integrated, is I can click on the property and then I can click on details. And I can see here, this is a pretty similar house. The same way that you would do it on the MLS, you look at houses, you see if they're similar. You can see here the year built, price per square foot, bed and bath, list price, etc., etc. And so that's kind of the way that it's directly integrated. You don't have to export it to a Toolkit CMA file and then put it in Toolkit and then afterwards put in your subject property and then adjust that. You can just do it. So let's say these three right here are perfect. I really like those three closed ones. I like this one too. We now have 4 listings. And again, don't ever do it like I do it where I just click through. Actually check that the homes are similar, right? The same way you would do any other CMA presentation. But let's say I went through and these 4 homes right here were very similar. I think I can adjust for these. I can either scroll down to the bottom and hit continue, or I can just go to the top and hit the listings. And now those 4 listings that I had, right here, we see the subject property, and then we see these 4 comparative properties. Cool? If I then want to adjust, for instance, we see that this is, this one's 2150 total, and this one's 1981. I always double check because this goes by total square footage, and we always like to adjust by living. So just when you go through, just, either have your own information sheet or just pull up the property appraiser, which you should do anyway for things like the garage size and stuff like that. But then I can literally go in, I can add edit adjustment. I can say, this one is, I can do square footage. And again, this is where it's a little different, but I have to type in square footage. And I'll say that this one is, 200 square feet taller. Let's say this house needs to have $4,000 added to it because it's inferior. Now the adjusted price will be, instead of $232, the adjusted price is $236, and it'll show you that over and over and over again. Again, same way you would do your Toolkit CMA presentation, just go through, do the adjustments for every single house. Some basic things, year built, acreage, square footage, garage size, does it have a pool, everything like that. You have to adjust for those things still. And you still have your cheat sheet to look at, so you should, remember everything that we adjust for. After I've done all my adjustments and everything, I hit continue, and it'll say it thinks it's $209,000. What I can also do is I can create a range to where it automatically does, within, let's say, 4%. Or I could literally just type in, because I think my CMA came a little higher than I wanted, I could say I think it's 180,000 to 195,000. Then I hit apply, and now I have my range. There's also an option, and we haven't used this yet, but the same way that you have a net sheet, you can basically say you have your net proceeds, and then we say at 195,000, you have a mortgage payoff of 50,000. Then the listing office fee is 3%, the selling office fee is 3%. And then it talks about, escrow fee, title insurance, annual property tax, state tax, and you can put all these other things in. And then after that, it'll save the cost and it'll give you a sheet that says what your net proceeds are. So you can do that as well. We haven't done it yet, but it's something that you can do, and you can add that page. And then finally, I'm going to go over to continue. And now I have my presentation with just the 11 pages online. And when you actually print it, it's going to have a few more pages, because instead of having just, one web page, and let me pull that up. See, because I have one web page with the side-by-side comparisons, but when I print it, it would print out the 4, so I think it's like an 18-page document or something like that. And I can even look at it this way, and I can do a print view, and now I can see exactly what this looks like, and it'll show. And then the way I said, we made it to where it has our stuff on it, so this talks about your online listing exposure, so we're on 170 websites nationwide. We have our marketing sheet, which we updated for the web version. So it's an elevated marketing plan. You can scroll through it. It looks nice. Talks about our brand awareness. And then again, we have our professional photos tab, which we didn't have before. If I could scroll up, that says photos and details matter, and it shows you how important photos are. And then finally, our thank you. So now we have our presentation. Again, we don't want you to go through it in 10 minutes. We want you to actually do your CMA the same way you would always do it, by properly adjusting. But then you can view it, or you can send it, or you can just save it, which it does automatically. And then when you get to someone's house, literally pull it up on your Moxi and show it to them.
How do you show the front page and import pictures of the house, for instance, or does that done?
So let's view this in the web version, and let's also view it in the print version after this. So this is what the presentation will actually look like. So it has my picture. It has a 14 Illinois Street, Beverly Hills, Florida. I'm presenting it for you, Jim. And then if I scroll down, it'll give me the subject property information. It's a single family home built in 1979. Blah, 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 And then afterwards here, it'll show the 4 comparable properties. So I click on it again. It'll pull it up. It says the adjusted price. I can look at the pictures and say, I think this is why, this home is comparable to yours, blah, 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 blah. And then we can do that with all 4. It'll show it on the map as well. And again, you have the option here to click on it. And then it'll pop up right here. It'll see if you hover over it and click on it. It'll kind of outline it white up there. And then you can click on it. And then here again is that side-by-side comparison for you. Does that make sense?
Yep, I'm at the first page on the presentation. I don't know how you import pictures. Maybe it does it automatically.
Yeah, so you have your one picture that you can do, but you can also import, especially if it was an MLS, you have those pictures already. And then here, I put my custom price range in, and it'll show like this. It doesn't say anything about, custom price range or anything. But yeah, then it'll show my page. And then from there, an elevated marketing plan. So we'll say, your home's on blah, 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 blah. And it just keeps going.
Looks like a really nice presentation.
Yeah. And we're going to be adding more of these presentations along too. We're going to be updating it. If someone's like, hey, I'm really missing this in our standard presentation, we'll instantly go in and we'll add it. And then the next time you make an office presentation, you'll instantly get that reflected update. All right. So that is the thing about present that you're going to be using the most. Now this thing that, and I'll show you the print PDF view real quick too, just so you kind of have an idea of what it looks like. So a thing that a lot of agents are doing, which I think is really smart, is with especially buyers that they worked with or people that live in this area, if you know their address once a year, probably on their home anniversary, what you can do is you can send out a property review. So you basically send them an updated CMA of their house and say, this is what your house is now worth in this market. It's a simple way for you to get in touch with those buyers again. It shows them that you care and that you have some sort of, that you're still putting in work for them despite you not actually having any sort of transaction with them in that moment. And just in general, this is a really professional presentation. If you just email it out, they get it as a web version, which they can scroll through as they like. So it's going to be something that makes you look professional, and it's going to get you back in touch with that buyer that you were in touch with, a year ago. And then when it comes to it down the line and they say, we want to sell our house, who are they going to pick? Probably you, because you stay in touch with them. And just to show, this is, what it looks like if you do the print PDF version.
What's that thing called?
What?
That document?
Well, this is the name of it. But if you hit the download button right here.
About listing presentation.
Yeah, if you hit the download button.
Is this this is a reminder that you're sending like once a year, like a birthday anniversary thing?
Right, so like you do basically an updated CMA, like you don't have to do adjustments, but you can do you can click on,
I'm kind of looking for a marketing name for that document. So I'm going to send
a property review.
Property review.
For property review. But yeah, if you then hit the download button, you can save it to whatever you like. Yeah. And so this is, basically what it looks like. It looks a little bit more fine-tuned, and it'll just have the actual listing and then some information on it. And then it'll have the listing map. It'll have and then it'll have here all the adjusted or the side-by-side comparisons. And then here it has the approximate market value that we think your home is worth. This looks a little bit different than our old one, which was just a white piece of paper that says boom price. It still has a little bit. But yeah, that's basically how it
That is
looks.
very sweet.
Yeah, and then this is our updated page for that. And we have your listing on 170 plus website. Photos and details matter most online. And then our thank you page.
Have you updated them on app files too?
For like our regular presentation, for now, we're going to keep that old one. Do you like the way this one looks a lot more? If I can go back up to.
Yeah.
Are you saying that sheet right there on app files, or which sheet are you talking? Okay, so we can put that sheet in app files, absolutely.
Yeah. Because right now, the one that you might be familiar with is the one that says Century 21 at the top, then some of like bullet points on the left side, and then the gold, black, gold boxes. So this is kind of an updated web version that we made for it, but it also looks like this. But we can put this on app files as well. Yeah. And this is some that I just made in Canva. If you ever have like a custom page, I think for Lawanda, I did like an About Me a long time ago that is like a little bit different than our About Us. Like just come see me, we'll make it together. We'll make it look nice because, this is something that you can personalize yourself to, and you can upload pages that you can always put in your presentation as well that are just in your account. So not everyone can look at them. Okay. Does that make sense as far as present goes? Okay. Last time we kind of went over this, we talked about buyer tours as well. I think basically what you can do is you can do this buyer tour where you print or do a web version of houses that you're going to look at. It's a little bit more refined than just, printing out those MLS sheets and handing it to them. It looks a little bit nicer. And I did one, I think, in here with everyone. And it has standard pages. I'm going to try and make like an office version of this as well that has some information. Maybe one that talks about negotiating and why you should use Century 21 buyer's agents kind of thing. And it shows this whole list of, where you're going to go in what order, and you can even move the order if you'd like. And then when you view it in the print portrait version, so instead of, again, printing out the MLS sheets, you can just do this instead if it would load. See if there's any comments. Perfect. So again, then this pops up. Let me make it full screen real quick. This thing pops up, that has my name, then it talks who it's for. It has the listing location map of where we're going to go, and then the order. And see, so this is cool too, is it is always updated. So since I've created this document, it looks like this house actually went off market. It was sold, so it like updates it. It's not old, so it's live updates from MLS. So if you ever look at this and you create it and then you get there the next day and you look at the presentation and you see that this is yellow, you're like, oh, actually it went pending. So we might not, look at this anymore. We can still see if we can look at it and maybe put in the backup offer if you're really interested in this house. But in this case, it's actually closed already. So it does update. Basically, it's live updated. So if someone changes anything and it goes through the little process, it's done. So again, it has a listing here, some features. And then I think Judy might have tried this, but basically, if you print out 2 copies and you can say at the end, I would love for you to give me one back, that basically you give a rating and you give notes on what you liked about it and what you didn't like about it, so I know better what you're looking for. It's just something simple that you can do. It's going to have pictures on here, but we can get rid of those. We don't have to do that. And then again, it'll do for all the other ones. And when I made this presentation, this said active, but now that it's sold, so it does update live. Okay. So that is it as much for present. The next one I want to go over is Moxi Impress. This is the tool that I myself have utilized the least so far, just because I edit a lot of stuff myself on Canva. But this is something that is really, really useful for people to use. Is basically we have right here my active listing. If I just hit manage right here, automatically here I can view projects or I can create a project. And so if I click on this, basically I can do a social media open house flyer. I can do a video on the house. I can do an e-postcard for a reduced price or for just sold. So let me just, click on any one of these. So let's say I'm doing an open house. I'm going to select this design. And then basically, I can name it. I can copy and paste or say, and again, you'd probably want to make it look a little bit nicer. And so it already automatically has my house right here because this is on my account. This is my listing, so it's automatically put in the Moxi. And so now if I hit save and continue, it's going to create my project. And it's loading 38 images from the listing source because that's how many I have on MLS. And it creates this open house for me, open house flyer. And so I can change the photos if I'd like. I'd say maybe this one's not good or this one's good. And you can hit the replace here. And I think if you hit project photos, it has all my MLS photos right here. You can also upload custom photos and things like that. So it doesn't have to be ones that are in the MLS. You can add different ones as well. But let's say I like these 4 pictures. Now I can add the text, open house start date. So we'll put, this Sunday. I don't even know what it is. Let's pretend it's 11/11. From 11 a.m. to 2.
You're out of characters.
Okay. This Sunday, 11/11, 11 to 3. Perfect. Oh, never mind.
No.
11 to 2. And I would probably put, here, let's just do this. Sunday, 11/11, 11 a.m. And then I would put here 2 p.m. Okay. So it has a list price, beds, baths, full baths, partial baths, blah, 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 everything on. And I hit save and continue. And there's also a much easier way to do this that I'll show you after this where it like completely automatically does it. And then save, continue. And then I'm going to preview it. Oh, sorry, here. I can download the image. And it basically creates an open house thing for me here that has all the information. Again, I would want to have my picture in here, but it talks open house Sunday, 11/11 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., blah, 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 and it has the pictures. Just something that you can hand out real quick. Alternatively, what you can do, and let me go back to the home screen and pretend that we didn't do this. If you hit manage, and you hit create marketing kit, basically you have just listed, coming soon, contract, open house, just sold, and price reduced. So let's say I want one for just listed, so I hit select. It's going to loading data from the listing source. So again, it takes it directly from my MLS with the pictures and everything. And it takes a little bit to create them.
How did you get back to the marketing thing, Kim?
You're there right now. Oh, create marketing. Yeah. And this is all recorded, so you can always look back at it. So your project has been created. So basically, it's created a single property website for me. It created a virtual tour for me. It created a social media thing for me. It created a postcard for me. It created a flyer, an e-postcard, a brochure. So it created all these things for me. And if I click on this postcard right here, I can download it, or I can literally put it directly through our Express Docs, which is what I use to send out our company postcards. So I'm going to hit download PDF. I'm just going to hit download. Okay. Oh, okay. So we click on this. And then right here, it has created a postcard for me that I can post. And again, if you're savvy enough, you can also just make a custom one for the back on like Canva or something like that, or you can come see me and we'll do it together. But it basically just creates this standard postcard that you can just send out. You could even send it out just on your Facebook. Just say, hey, look, this is my new on the market home. And it does all that for you automatically so that you don't have to go in and create all these crazy, templates and things like that. So yeah. And like I said, Impress is the one that I have used the least just because I like to edit my own stuff. So if you already have like your templates and stuff like that, you don't have to use it, but I still think it's a nice tool that you can use to just kind of create Facebook posts, open house flyers and everything like that. Any questions about Impress?
So you could take that postcard and upload it to like Vistaprint and have it merge with your, I'm thinking about how you get the addresses on it.
You would, if you're doing it through Vistaprint, you would have to get the addresses yourself, yes.
Yeah.
But you can do it directly through Express Docs and they'll do it at the location. And then it'll send out, like it'll create the population for you.
And how would you put it into Express Docs?
So what I was just at, where it's at the postcard on the right side, it'll say send through Express Docs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll automatically put it in for you. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about, and this is something that we've kind of been working on, is who's ever here been to Citrus County Century 21? If you raise your hand.
The website.
Our office website. So yeah. So if you look at this, this is, the office website. It talks about our home, about us listing, sell your home, foreclosures. And it kind of has this simple view of where you can look. So I want to look in Citrus County and I want to search, and it'll pop up this, property type selected. So, but basically it's just really, it's not very intuitive or anything. So what they created is they created this website, or they created this tool called Moxi Websites. And you can create your own website, and it's basically as simple as following the instructions as it asks you, like, do you want to have an agent view or a search view? Do you want to have this page or not? And then it automatically populates a website for you. Mm-hmm. What I did though is I went through and I created a completely custom website that this takes a little bit of practice, but a lot of this stuff was just automatically on there. I didn't have to change anything other than click the button that says add this page. So we have our home page, Century 21. You can search by location or search by drive time. We have our featured properties here. I didn't have to do any sort of crazy coding. I literally just added a button that says add properties. And because we are integrated with MLS, it automatically puts every single one of our Century 21 properties on here. And I think I have up to 100 or something like that. And if people are like, oh, I would really like this, this house right here, they can click on it. And kind of similar to how a Moxi Present, it'll kind of pop up with an agent view. It'll have Carrie's information. It'll have all the pictures and all the information.
And how do they go to this one?
But that, so basically right now the page is JW Morton Real Estate Inc.sites.t21.homes. It's not very intuitive, so we're gonna probably change that to Citrus County Century21.com. But I am still working on updating the website just a little bit. So, and then if they want to look specifically in Inverness, they just click on this button Inverness, and it takes them to the search page that has just Inverness. So basically it has everything available. It's not just our stuff. This is Coldwell Banker, this is Whitetail, Coldwell Banker, Citrus Ridge, and it'll be all these random ones the same way you would go into Zillow and you would put in Inverness in the search. This would pop up basically. And people can click on it, if they just want to be on the north side of the county, they click on this right here, and then it'll kind of show, and you can click on it, and people can look, and they say, oh, 5300 Mimosa Lane, Century 21 Alliance. Yeah. But again, it's going to do this thing where it shows, and this is because we're on the office website right now, but this is going to show C21 JW Morton Real Estate Inc. It's not going to show the listing agent's name. So if you direct them through your website or our website and they click on a listing, they're going to see your name on there. So if they're interested in that house, they're going to call you instead of calling the listing agent that's on there.
So how do we drive business to that website?
That's something that we're going to be working towards. But basically, it creates what's called SEO, which is search engine optimization. It creates these tags for you that should get you to the top of the list. But you can always do this. If you're in Moxi, there's this little help button at the bottom here. These people have been so helpful to me every time. If I ever have an issue, I just talk with them. It takes like maybe 10 to 15 minutes to wait to get in touch with someone. And they are engineers. They are they know everything about the product, and they can help you through everything. But basically, just to keep showing you, this is a page that I made as well. It's just our About Us page. We were founded in this, blah, blah, blah. Just some recent awards that we won as an office. And then our Learn More. We made one that talks about becoming an agent. And so, it has Wayne and Jim, such nice people. And it keeps going and going. And then finally, it has our agents and offices. And one thing that's cool about this, too, is if you look at all our agents right here, 62, and you're dealing with someone who only speaks, I don't know, Arab or something, then you can put Arabic, and then I put apply, and Elijah's going to pop up. So if someone's like, hey, I'm really struggling to find someone, and like maybe you have some language barrier, direct them to this page and say, see if someone who speaks your language is here. Chinese and Dutch will add those two, and then Young and Sam will show up as well. Cool?
How many different languages do we actually embrace?
9, I think we have. So
That might be interesting to advertise.
yeah, we do.
Do you?
Yeah. And again, we haven't fully changed this to our Citrus County Century 21 yet, just because I'm still changing some things. There's a lot of pages on here, like the foreclosure pages that I haven't even added to our website, but that's some that we might want to add. But that's basically what a website could look like, if you put a little bit of time and effort into it.
Real quick, I want you guys to think about too, obviously this is at a brokerage level. You guys can bring this down to an agent level. So you guys can have LawandaWattC21.com, and it showcases all of Lawanda's properties.
Right.
Getting in touch with Lawanda. Lawanda's about us. She can put that on her business card. She can link it to her Facebook, so on and so forth. And it's free, guys. Like, we have spent zero money on creating that website, and in my opinion, it looks 10 times better than the one that we pay money for through an outside source, an outside party. Yes, there's a little bit of upfront time, energy, and effort to put into it, but the beautiful thing about websites is once you have it done, it's created. It's not something that you constantly have to go back to. It's got a live MLS feed, so it'll update automatically, so on and so forth. So, again, if you guys are trying to push into the digital age, I think having a website is great. continue on email signatures. You can have a link to your website in the email signature. You can say something like, see my websites for more of my listings. Again, I know everybody in here wants to double end their listings. How do you do that? You get it in front of more people that you are representing. This is one way to do that. So that's kind of a,
I've been playing with the website. So if you go to lisatrickc21.com, you're gonna get me.
So what is it, Lisa?
lisatrickc21.com. Now, I had to pay for Lisa Trick C21.
the domain. Right.
Yeah, I had to pay for the domain name, but it's like $60 for 2 years. It was cheap. But I've been working on this too. And I've been directing people like the Moxi leads and the people that I have in my C21 business builder to the website with the same kind of zap language. Did you know my website gives you up-to-date information on most recent listings? Check it out. People are looking.
You're saying you're directing it to your website?
Correct.
Is
Yes.
there any way we can incorporate the company website into her website so that it has the advantages of everything that you've
What
done?
we can do is everyone that has a website is we can literally make a page that says, visit our agent's websites. And then
I
we
think
can
you can
link.
actually do it in the agents, like on our website, when the
Yes,
agent
so-
thing, we
yeah.
can put a hyperlink, so when they
Yeah.
click on Lisa Trick's face in our agent in here, it would direct them to Lisa's website. We have that ability as well, so no matter where you're going, you have the ability.
So if she, like on hers, it had a drop down there.
And we can add it into here.
Yeah.
You gotta update my picture there.
Well, I sent an email.
I know he did. I've got pictures
Yeah.
scheduled.
So
I know my terrible.
and I said, like, I sent the link for this exact page.
Mhm.
And I said, if you do not like your picture and you have an updated one, please let me know and I'll update it. So. Yes.
But on her website, it just said my active listings, my office active listings. So
That's
if
correct.
she not through that, they can't search the MLS.
They can. So, yeah. So there's also just a standard property search.
That will be the whole.
Yes.
Correct. And also that search bar right there, neighborhood, cities, if they type in Inverness, it's all listings in Inverness, ours and Remax's and, yeah.
Yeah.
You do our personal website.
Correct.
They get everything.
Yeah, we want to showcase just Lisa's property on the homepage because we're
Yeah.
trying to get people to buy those first. But if they go to a search or they look at anything, it's going to give them everything. We're not going to restrict it just to ours because that'll drive people away from it.
And if you look at our website, like if you look at properties, we have like a custom search for Floral City, Inverness, Hernando, Crystal River, Beverly Hills, Crystal, like Sugar Mill Woods. We have all these different act ones. And if I click on it, it'll take me to the search for Inverness, Florida. The same way what I can do is we created one specifically for waterfront. So if I click on this and I click waterfront, then now it'll only show me, homes
All
that are
waterfront
waterfront in the county.
What about acreage?
We can make one, I mean,
Yeah.
again, you got to remember the parameters are what you can basically search in MLS. So
Well, you can also search outside the county.
Correct.
too,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because I've got people looking in Levy County.
Yeah.
So
So
if you
like,
put Levy County up there, it works.
so like this is for instance Tampa, Florida,
Yeah.
right here. And if I click on this specific property, what's it gonna say? It's gonna say, "Get started with me today, Lisa Trick."
Yeah.
It's not gonna say big real investment person who sells something for $3 million. It's gonna say Lisa Trick, call me or email me.
Mhm.
So again, if you direct people to search through your website and you say look for more listings, instead of saying, Keller Williams St. Pete Realty, it's gonna say Lisa Trick, Century 21. Does that make sense? So that's another way that if you have someone, especially when you're in the early capture stage, if you have someone and you want to get them to communicate through you and you want them to understand that for every house they can talk to you, this is a great way to do it. Say, hey, go to this page and look at it. If someone's looking specifically at, I don't know, Beverly Hills, Florida, right? And I want to send that specific link, I can literally do this right here, and now it has Beverly Hills. And if I click this and I copy it, if I then paste it in an email or a text or whatever, this exact search is going to show up for them. It's not going to take them to just a standard search. It's going to take them to all of Beverly Hills, Florida, and they can look through it as much as they'd like. So that's a great way for you to kind of, again, interact with them. Yeah,
I think you got a chat question,
I got a chat question.
maybe.
No, I think it might be a text that came into the office or something.
Never mind. Just saw the orange.
If you want to expand the Beverly Hills search to a greater perimeter, can you do that, or do you have?
Oh yeah. So for instance, for some reason, I kind of had this issue is if you put Homosassa, it doesn't include Homosassa Springs, and if you do
Right.
Homosassa Springs, it
That's
doesn't
what I'm
include
talking
Homosassa. So on our specific website, when I did Homosassa, and it's not entirely accurate, but if I click here on Homosassa, what it'll do is I literally took a draw marker and I just kind of drew like this. And for the most part, I got all of Homosassa. I think there's one listing in here that is Crystal River somewhere. It might have already gone pending at this point. Yeah, Crystal River right here.
Well, in expanding that thought, what people come and they say, well, I want to be on the coast. So could we go Inglis, Crystal River,
Yeah, so I mean, again, you can just, what you can do
Gulf properties?
is, let's say I go to, you just send them to the regular page to the property search right here, it'll start here. I can just do draw, and I can do a quick draw, and I can literally do, and let me zoom out a little bit. If I want to, I could literally just do
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
this. And then in the filters, I can do just waterfront.
Say that and send it to everybody.
What? Yeah. So now look, it has it's probably going to be mostly Homosassa, but it has Crystal River, Homosassa, Weeki Wachi, Fernando Beach, and I don't know if you can do this. What if I literally just type in Florida? Yeah, if I type in Florida, USA, it's going to literally do all of Florida. It's going to have 3801 listings. And so you can look at these. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay.
How easy is it to put your website in your signature block?
Basically, if you can make
Very
it,
easy.
yeah, because you don't have to put in the actual link. You
Yeah.
can just put my website, and then in your email signature, you hover over it, and then it'll say link. And then when someone sees your email signature, it automatically will have a little blue thing. You click on it, and it'll
Right.
take you. I think, for instance, for Lawanda, I did one where we had a little Facebook logo, and if you click on the Facebook logo, it takes you to a Facebook kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
So just do that in Gmail, if you have, or whatever your
Right.
carrier is.
Yeah.
Gmail, you just go to your email signature setting, and it actually says add hyperlink, and you can name it whatever you want. You check this out, and then you paste it in the actual website.
So again, and this, of course, there's some upfront time that's associated with this, but now Lisa has a really nice website.
How did you come up with that line? Was that standard or was that yours?
Oh, no, no,
Creative juices were flowing.
I guess if you read the little paragraph I wrote,
Yeah, I
it
started
just
to.
said, you picked the right place to start for the search. You picked the right agent to help you. So I just went, the word right is the catch. So I just came up and picked, here's the right place.
Pure genius.
It is
No.
very good. It was very.
I've spent a lot of time playing with this.
Yeah.
I still have a lot I want to do with it, but
Your email signature.
I just think that's a
should be
great
right
line.
click.
It's very reassuring.
yeah. Uh-huh.
You're gonna put right click.
Just
Yeah.
come to the right place.
And the thing that's nice too is if you ever feel like you have to, and so what I'm going to do is, because I don't think Karen has a website, is I'm just going to show you like what it looks like when you first go in it, and then I'm going to show you what it's like to build a custom page. I'm not going to go into like full depth on it, but
We're gonna do a whole class on just
Yes,
building websites.
yeah.
So you got, today was just an overview of everything that there is
yeah.
to offer,
So
to get you guys to understand the
Even
power
better
of
if you
Moxi.
did one-on-one link, because this is a great overview.
Yeah, because I'll just we'll do that next time. I'll show you how, because like if you are, I don't think anyone here is, I'm not, but if anyone knows how to like code, you can literally put in your own code for a web page and it'll do it. But if not, there's a feature that says builder, and you can literally drag and drop like pictures, you can drag and drop widgets, like featured properties and things like that, and it'll do it all for you.
You talk about neighborhood news unit.
That's what yeah. So finally we have our engage. And again, I think this is originally when we heard Moxi and Zap replacement and stuff, the only thing we looked at was engage. We didn't even look at any of the other stuff. You will not see this. This is some that the talent mode is like a recruitment tool, but you will not see this. So what you'll see this right here, and you'll see your stay in flow. I'm gonna have a whole bunch of like fake names and leads and stuff in here that just to show you what it would look like. But basically every day it's going to show you a certain amount of people that says, Jessica, Iris, Sharon. And so I can see these people, and it looks like last month they were updated from Leads Engine, and then I wouldn't have reached out to them since. So what your goal is every day when you log in and you have anyone here, make sure to reach out to them. Because that means you haven't been in touch with them for, in my case, it says 30 days. So at this point, it's been at least 30 days since I've been in touch with them. So I probably want to do something like send them an email, send them a text, call them, drip campaigns, anything like that. And then go into our person, and we'll have to look at yours, Lisa, and then we just...
Wayne already did this morning.
Okay, and we got to figure it out, or...
Not yet, but
No,
we're working.
It's broke.
Yeah.
Lisa specifically, mine works.
Mine's broke.
But you can go in and, you can add an activity, and then from there they'll know like, hey, we reached out to this person, we're good for 30 days. Now, the thing that we think, or at least I think, is the best way to get in touch with people and keep them in your sphere is to set up what's called a neighborhood news. So once a month, every 30 days, it's going to send a market update of the area they live in, and it's just going to have updates on what's active, on what the prices look like. It's going to have a mortgage calculator, all those different things, and it sends it automatically once a month. Usually when you send campaigns like that, you have barely any open rate, but what we've heard from almost every single manager that we met in Arizona at the conference is they all say like they're hovering between 60 to 80% open rate per person, which is incredible. So like basically more than half of the people you send this to are going to open it at least once, and once they've opened it once, there's like a 90% chance that they're going to open it again and again and again. And so again, it's going to have your face on it, it's going to have your name on it, so then once it's time to buy or sell a house, they're going to think, oh, I get these monthly updates from Deanna, who I worked with a year and a half ago. I still remember her because I get these monthly updates from her. And then what's she going to do? Call Deanna. Does that make sense?
Got a question.
Yeah.
Is that all web-based to where they have to go on a computer, or can you send a newsletter to them?
It is all going to be on the computer.
Can you do the other though? Can you print it and send it if you want to?
You probably could. I would just, at that point, you should like set yourself up to receive it and then print it and send it out kind of thing. I don't think you can do a physical newsletter for that yet. But basically, if I go to my people, and let me see if I can find someone, like one of our agents or something like that. And you have to understand, like, sometimes it takes a little bit to load, especially me because I have a good amount of people in here just from creating fake names and adding groups and syncing my phone contacts and all that stuff. But basically, what we think everyone should do is, and here, let me just see what I do if I type in Judy. Are you in here, Judy? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to create a new person by the name of Judith, the real McCoy. So then I'm going to add her phone number, 352, what is it, like 6011355?
Very good.
Yeah, and then your email is Judy McCoy C21 at gmail.com. And then you can put her address, and then did I put your email? Okay, and then done. So what I can do, especially, let's say I worked with Judy, or Judy's my aunt, and she's like not sure about using me as a realtor because I'm family, and I'm not sure about all this, is I can say, hey, Aunt Judy, like I have this new program called Moxi, and I'm kind of testing it out. I would love to use this program and try it with you. Let me know what you think. Great excuse to reach out to someone that you haven't talked to in a while, and a great excuse to get them set up without blindsiding them. Alternatively, you can say, hey, I've just been thinking about you. I know you've owned this house for a little while. There's a lot of questions about the market. I'm just going to go ahead and send you this little neighborhood news that's going to send once a month, no obligations or anything, and it's going to give you a quick market update. So I'm going to do add subscription, and there's a couple different ways to do this, and we'll show you. And I can do a neighborhood news. And you can do a targeted search, but I'm going to do a quick zip or postal code only. And I'm going to say Judy McCoy, and your zip code is
34450.
34450. And then here, it gives this thing, never get rid of this little thing that says link to full report. But I could say, hey, Aunt Judy, we miss you. Oh my God. We miss you. And then I'll send it. And now, that's all I did. And now once a month, she's going to get a market update on the zip code 34450. I'll turn it off.
I'll be delighted to get.
So,
And what does that report have in it?
well, I'll show you right now. So basically this neighborhood news, it would look a bit bigger, but it's going to have a preview for you. So it's going to have 24 listings in the area. And I don't know why it's looking like this. Give me one second. What's happening here?
Maybe yours is broken too.
Yeah, maybe it is. I'm just going to hit close real quick. Let me try that one more time.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sending it to you twice now. Have you received an email by any chance?
Shall find it.
Of course, it never works. Oh, okay, there you go. So I just started the neighborhood news subscription. So in a second here, she's probably going to get it. And once it loads. And the thing that's nice too is like if I now go back, let's say I don't look at Judy's thing on Moxi Engage for like 5 months, it'll still be sending those neighborhood newses. And then when I look at her activity, it'll say 31 days ago, send neighborhood news. 60 days ago, send neighborhood news. 90 days ago, send neighborhood news. So then if I reach out to her, I can be like, oh, last month you got this thing from me. Or if you have them set up in a drip campaign, which that's something that we'll go over next time when we're in Engage. You can say, oh, I sent you that email about selling your house in this market the other week. Like, did you get that? Things like that, because you can see exactly when you sent it.
Does it say when they opened it?
Yes, yeah, but I think by law, like when we send these things, we're required to have like an unsubscribe button, and it puts it there automatically for you. You don't have to worry about it.
Tom, does it show if
You
they
would
open?
rather them tell you.
Yes, yes.
Right.
What's up?
I said you would definitely want them to let you know, hey, quit sending them to me.
Yeah, yeah. And if that's the case, there's a couple things we can do. Is we can do our neighbor. You can go to your campaigns, and if I hit neighborhood news, it'll show me. And again, it takes a little bit to load on Engage, just because there's so much information that has to pull every time, which is the only thing that's a little bit frustrating about it. Yeah, it's a little clunky in that regard. But yeah, this is just something that just every morning, first time you open your laptop, just go through, check your feed. If there's no one at the top, it means you're doing a good job. If there's people at the top, reach out to them, give them a call, send them a text, send them neighborhood news, just find a way. And especially here, don't just use this to work your online leads that you get through Realtor and stuff like that. This is the best way for you to keep working your sphere without actually doing any work. All you do is you set them up in neighborhood news or any sort of drip campaign, which we'll go over again. And then from there, you're good to go. But I guess it's
At
not
the
one of
beginning,
them.
there was a choice between client and non-client, I think it was.
Yeah, so basically what I have it set up, and we can help you, is if I add any sort of contact to my phone directly, it automatically syncs to my Gmail. And since Gmail is synced to Moxi, it'll then automatically create an account. So I'm now probably going to have, if I look at my phone contacts, I'm probably going to have Judith the Real McCoy in my phone contacts because I created someone in Engage with that name. And so I can help you set it up that way. If you don't want that, that's okay too. But again, we recommend that everyone in your sphere, friends, family, previous customers that you know you're probably going to have some sort of relationship with, just set them up in any one of these things right here.
Are they all clients? Are they all, is that you choose the client button?
Yeah, so like for instance, if I just added a new realtor that is going to be coming in, Crystal, so I added her to my phone. She popped up in my Engage. She's not a client of mine. I don't have anything to do with her in Engage. So I just hit non-client, and then at the bottom I hit remove from Engage because I have no reason to send any sort of campaigns to her. She's an agent with us. I'd rather just talk to her face to face instead of sending her that email. But for some reason this isn't wanting to load right now, but usually it does load. Did you get that neighborhood news or not?
Not yet.
Can you look in your promotions just in case? Did I type your email in wrong maybe? Yeah. Well, I'll show you one that gets sent to my email. This is.
There must be too much stuff in 3, 4, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. So basically, I set up a fake person, Frank Williams, and then I just put my own email in. I sent myself a neighborhood news. So it says here, neighborhood news, your source for real estate market activity in your corner of town. Custom listings for you. It just kind of shows it, and you can set this up with that custom search. But if I hit the view full report thing right here,
And we didn't do anything in that custom search, did we? We just said everything in 3, 4, 4.
right, and you can set up a custom search that if someone's like, I'm looking for a 3.2 that's over 1,000 square feet, but at most $250,000, you can send that, and then every month it'll send an update of what listings are available in that price range.
And how does this compare with the auto search, function in MLS? I guess it's very similar, huh? Except it's not integrated.
Correct.
Yeah, this is more
And
personalized
this
to
is
you.
branded.
Yeah,
Remember the MLS stuff, they try, but everything MLS related is going to be as unbranded as they can get it. Their whole idea is let's make it as fair for all. So the more you show them Century 21, Judy McCoy, the better that sticks.
I think it's not loading because I removed this person from my Engage, but
Yes.
Couple of questions for you guys for neighborhood news, something to think about. How many of you are actively reaching out to your sphere of influence? Raise your hand. Be honest with me.
Not as much as not with neighborhood news, so.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general. So the whole point I'm trying to make here is this is a great tool to reach out to your sphere of influence. One method that we learned is, hey, I've got this really new cool tool. Can you help me test it out? To your friends. They say, sure, I could do that. Guess what? You've now captured them. So I would encourage you guys to reach out to your sphere of influences with this tool and get the ball rolling with it. Moxi, the CEO of Moxi came and said their numbers show that people that actually use this as a sphere of influence tool had 42% more business. That's directly from the CEO. You can call it a pitch or not, but it makes sense because 80% of your guys' business as an established realtor is sphere of influence. I mean, Pat, where's most of your business come from? Pat's customers, referral based, right? Stefan, Danny, same thing, right? Like your guys' business is past customer base. This is a great way to keep it front and center. I know each one of you guys has probably lost a past customer to a different realtor because we didn't reach out at the right time. Somebody else knocked on the door, sent a postcard, sent a letter, and that was the exact time they said, I do want to sell. And they didn't call you, Pat, they called Joe Schmo Realty and we lost it, right? Like it happens to everybody. This is just a way to try and help minimize that from happening.
and then I just closed it, but let me reopen it one more time. And then, actually here, what was it? Lisa Trick, c21.com. Okay.
All right.
And then another way, and this is something that's really cool, is the neighborhood news button is right here. It also shows up at the bottom. But if someone has like no specific relationship with Lisa, but she just tries to capture them, and they go, oh, the best way to stay connected on what's happening, and they click on it, they can get their own neighborhood news, and she will get a message that says, this person just subscribed to neighborhood news. Is that going to happen a lot? Probably not, but if you don't utilize this website, it's never going to happen. If you do utilize the website, you might get someone who says, and this computer has been really slow today, so it's not wanting to work, but basically it'll give them an option to look at these specific things and then say, hey, I want to sign up to get this once a month. Then out of nowhere, Lisa has another person in her neighborhood news and in her sphere that she didn't have before. So there's neighborhood news, 68 listings for you. So because I already have that account signed up and I am logged in technically on my account, this is what I'm looking for. It kind of creates this thing in Citrus County where I can look at all active listings and I can click on them. And so if I would get this once per month from Lisa, and it says trends in the real estate area. So if you look at the median sold prices, they were definitely up all the way in July, then they kind of went down in August, but September and October, it's been a little bit more steady. You know, the market's rebalancing, but it's not, you know, crazy. Days to sold, way up. So they can talk about that. It says, look, if you're looking to buy, now's a great time because, you know, houses are staying on the market longer. You have more buyer power. There's more available for you. We talk about listing for sold price. I mean, it looks pretty similar. And then total and active and pending listings, you know, it goes up and down, but we see it's way up. So again, you can say, did you look at my neighborhood news that I sent you? Yeah, I did. Oh, did you notice that the total active and pending listings are way up from what they were before? Now's a great time to buy. You know, like it's just such an easy way to get in touch. The same way that I think Rachel, Curry, and Mike, they started sending out those like personalized magazines that have like cooking tips on it. They'll call and they say, oh, did you see page 10 on the magazine I sent you? That looks like a great, you know, green bean casserole. The same way you could be here. Did you see the neighborhood news I sent you? This is a great, you know, did you see that there's a lot more, it takes a lot longer for a house to sell now? That's great news if you're looking to buy a house. Talks about this, talks about prices are down a little bit, about 3%, which is very good because when we were at the conference, we were hearing of areas that have lost 15 to 20% market value in 2 months. So your house has lost 20% value in 2 months. So, you know, it basically has this whole thing. And then one more insight into this market data, contact me, reach out. And then, you know, I can put this thing here, I can change it. And then she'll get a message that says, you know, Frank Williams reached out to you. And then again, she has a way to engage. She can see exactly what he looked at. Case closed. Which one do you guys think just, you know, is the one that you're most interested in learning right away? Do you think it's the CMA tool, if it's this Engage, or if it's a website tool? Like just by a show of hands, like who thinks that the first thing they want to learn about more is the website?
I like the website.
Okay. So the website, okay. Who thinks the first thing I want to learn about more is the CRM tool, the Engage? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And who wants to learn more about Present first, so our CMA tool? Who wants to learn more about that? Okay. So it's probably between Engage and Present. So next week we'll probably be going over one of those. We're going to hold off on the website until about week 3 then. But basically next week it's either going to be Present or Engage, and then the week after it's going to be the other one, okay? We're just going to do this once a week for a few weeks. You know, we have 4 tools. I think the Impress one we can knock out in half a session. And so for our last session, we'll probably just do the Impress one. And then after that, we'll just have sort of like a Q&A on everything else that you might need. Again, we're doing this once a week, but my office is right there and I'm available every time other than lunchtime, right? So if you ever have any sort of questions, or like you say, I want one-on-one time, I don't want to wait 3 weeks to build my website. I want to do it now. Great. Let's sit down and create your website. Let's do this together. I enjoy doing these sort of things. I enjoy, you know, helping you guys, and this is something that I've kind of become what we call like the product champion of. So if you have any questions, just come see me. If you want to build a website, let's build a website. If you want to do a CMA, let's do a CMA. Okay?
So I contacted Justin Graham, the photographer.
Yeah.
That you gave me. I'm gonna get a headshot done. If anybody else wants to, they will do a group price. So the more of us that get it done, the more economic it'll be.
Okay.
So I'm waiting on him to give me a date and time because I've already contacted him.
Oh, good. I was gonna ask you who you.
And that's something that maybe we can look into seeing, like if he can come in here and do it or
That's what I'm
something.
thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe in front of that bolder, smarter, faster sign, or
yeah,
something
something.
that's got a Century 21 brand.
And I think someone's already came in before, but I believe he passed away. So Roger Wolf, I think his name was. But like, so people, we have done it before. So it is something that we can talk about.
He was enthusiastic about it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see if anyone in the chat has anything.
Tom, that's huge. It's excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, and, awesome.
This is really outstanding. Wish I understood.